Well, we're going down to the gossip fence, and I'll tell you what, Cindy's out here getting a suntan, but there's somebody coming over here who looks a little familiar. I might have dated her in high school, I'm not sure, but she's a little strange. Her name is Harriet. Let's see what's going on.
Oh, Cindy! Is that you over there?
Yes.
Okay, I'm coming over.
Come on over, Harriet.
Well, hi, Cindy. How are you?
I'm good. I'm trying to get a suntan, but it's not working.
Well, I wonder why you're wearing white. That's not a good outfit to wear on the sun. What you need to do is get your cheap husband to take you down to Cindy's tanning boutique.
Yeah, that sounds good.
That's what you need to do. Hey,
Yes.
Cindy, can I ask you a question?
Sure.
Have you gone through menopause yet?
No, not yet.
Well, I tell you, things started changing for me about a month ago. Yeah. I could be sitting there watching TV, and then all of a sudden, I'm just hotter than blue blazing. Then the next second, I'm cold as ice. What's up with that? And what's the deal with this? This ain't just 5 little hairs growing out of there. That's a 5-day beard. And it's only been since 9 o'clock this morning. You know, I got things growing where they never grew before. I tried to get a little frisky with my husband Charlie last night. I was kissing his ears and I was rubbing up against his cheek. I was starting to purr a little bit, you know. And he says, "Hey, that tickles! You need a shave!" And then he saw the hair here in my chest. He said, "You know, grass don't grow on the playground." I told him, well, if you'd roll in that grass a little more often, it wouldn't grow fast. And don't even get me started on my mood swings. I can just love you one minute, and the next minute I'm going to tear your head off. Old Charlie, he says he ain't coming home until I get some good drugs. Well, enough about me, girl. How are you this morning?
Well, I'll tell you what, I had a good morning.
Did you really?
Yeah, when I woke up, there was no wrinkles in sight. The house was spotless. The lawn looked lovely. And I'll tell you, my grumpy old man looked like George Clooney. I ain't never put my glasses back on again.
I don't know if you really knew it or not, but I really enjoy cooking.
Do you?
Yes. And it's always important that you use all 4 food groups when you cook. Very important. I use bagged, I use boxed, I use frozen and takeout.
My kind of cooking.
That's the best way to do it.
Yep. Oh, Harriet, can you tell me why it is so hard to find men who are sensitive, caring, and good-looking?
I can tell you why. It's because those boys already have boyfriends.
Well, all I can say is this. All those women going around complaining and moaning about not being able to find a husband have obviously never had one.
To tell you the truth, I have a secret fantasy. I want 2 men.
Uh-oh.
One to cook and one to clean.
Well, I say, all men are like animals. Just some of them make better pets.
Well, you're right about that. You know what they say? You give a man a fish and you can feed him for a day. But if you teach a man to fish, you can get rid of him for the weekend.
Yeah, sounds good. Yes.
That works.
Speaking of husbands, listen to this. Okay, I come home the other night and Kenny was sitting on the couch and I went over and I strolled up to him and I looked and I stood in front of him and I said, take off my blouse. Woohoo! And then I looked at him and I said, take off my skirt.
Uh-oh. Woo.
And then I yelled at him and said, quit wearing my clothes.
Well, I can tell you, they do feel kind of good.
Imagine.
Tell me one thing. Tell me he didn't wear your bikini underwear.
I don't know. I didn't look that far.
Well, you know men can ruin a pair of underwear pretty quick.
Absolutely.
And why do they make men's underwear in white?
I don't know. It should be yellow and brown.
That would make sense, wouldn't it?
Yes. Oh, well. I'll tell you what, Harriet. I just bought me one of those new bras. Okay? It's called the sheepdog.
The sheepdog?
Yes. Did you ever wear one?
I never wore one of them.
It rounds them up and points them in the right direction.
Well, I tell you what, it would take an act of God to get mine pointed in the right direction. And if you were going to name my bra, it would have to be the 90-year-old man. It's plumb wore out, offers no support, and forget about pushing anything up.
Yeah. Oh, I don't know. Where would you find that?
Well, I tell you what, I've been reading this magazine here a lot. It says in here, you know, marriage is like a deck of cards. In the beginning, all you need is 2 hearts and a dime. Oh, isn't that so sweet? But by the end, you wish you had a club and a spade.
True. Sometimes I know. Sometimes I feel like throwing in the towel.
Yeah.
You know what that means? More laundry.
More laundry. Well, you know, my shirt is dry clean only. You know what that means?
What's it mean?
It's really dirty.
Oh, goodness.
Hey, Cindy. Have you ever been to one of those fancy rotating restaurants?
No, I don't believe. No, but Kenny and I rode the merry-go-round the other day while eating a burrito.
Oh, my. Well, you know what? That would explain that newsflash I heard last night. It said, unexplained windstorm in the park yesterday brought on watery eyes and burning nostrils, and a strange urge for Mexican food. They ever heard one mother saying, I've never heard of thunder in a windstorm before. And then she said, let's go, Jimmy, I'm in the mood for a taco.
That would make sense.
That would be it. Glad I wasn't in the park.
You know, Harriet, I'm not the best housekeeper, so I always keep several get well cards on my mantle. That way, if anyone comes over to visit, they'll just think I've been sick and haven't got a chance to clean.
Yeah. Always good to be prepared, I say. You know those get well cards? I don't like them at all. They should say get well now. I mean, why wait?
Yeah. Oh my.
Hey, I'm reading this other story in here. They come out with this new study. You know what it was all about?
No, I don't know nothing about it.
Well, it asked women how they feel about their asses.
Oh my, what did they find?
Well, they said 40% of the women surveyed feel their asses are too big. 10% of the women felt that their asses are too small. That's where I fit in. And 50% of the other women said they didn't really care. They love him anyway. He's a good man and they would have married him anyhow.
That explains why 50% of the men say we're jacked.
You're exactly right. Hey, well, speaking of that, I better get back over. Charlie's due home soon.
All right, bye-bye.
All right, see you later.
We'll see you, Harriet. We'll see you soon.
Bye.
Oh, my. I'm sure I did date her sometime in high school.